Welcome to Rob's Retro Rides. Obviously I'm not Rob, I'm his mate, I'm doing the filming for today. And just wanted to give you a quick walk around of this car. So this is a Citroen that he purchased for 300 quid. It was actually going to go for scrap. And in this video we're going to talk about, or Rob's going to talk about, the process of turning a scrap cheap, basically doomed car into a nice usable runaround. But it wasn't exactly a smooth ride. Alright, tell us about the Citroen, Rob. How'd you get it?
This came from a friend of mine who collects, well, he used to collect scrap cars, and this one was destined for the scrap yard. And what happened is the wiper motors stopped working, and brand new wiper motors for this car are £360 each.
Oh.
That's 720 quid. Oh, hello. You didn't look very well. Turbo lag. So I basically got it super cheap, 300 quid, and then I bought two second-hand wiper motors, 275 quid. I chucked in for MOT without looking at it properly, and believe it or not, it went straight through with a plethora of advisories, which is good, I guess, but that didn't last long because it broke again and again and again. This car has been repaired so many times now that I can't remember all the things that I have done. But I replaced the window regulator for this driver's door. I done both front drop links, both track rod ends, both lower control arm bushes. I've also done what have I done? Too much. Oh, the last repair job was the high pressure hydraulic line running from the reservoir to the back of the car and goes over top of the fuel tank, which is a great design for repairability. Had rotted out above the fuel tank and started leaking. It was a hairpin leak, so it was like spraying this fluid everywhere over the back of the car. I fixed that by patching a new piece of pipe, but I used standard brake line. I've been advised by the Citroen owners, don't do that. Just don't. You need special flaring tools. You need seamless steel. I'll get there in the end.
Steel line.
Seamless stainless steel line. That's a word.
Well, it's a sentence, but still.
It's a word. But yeah, I've cheated. I've got away with it thus so far. So at least I'm driving it again. But yeah, let me show you around this bit here. So here's your HVAC controls for your air conditioning and temperature. The aircon compressor is not working on this car, so no cold air, unfortunately.
Of course, you got that super cool steering wheel that Bugatti's recently ripped off.
Yeah, we used it on the Tourbillon, which is one of my favourite cars of all time, I have to say. Bit out of my price range. This car has a 6-speed automatic gearbox and the 2-litre HDI that produces about 140 brake horsepower and a lot of torque. I don't know how much. I should know this, but I don't. Here you got your cruise control here and your speed limiter. So it's no excuses for speeding. On the other side you got your volume controls and stereo controls, which is rather nice as well. You can control the trip computer from the steering wheel just here as well. And you can do some change radio station using this little dial here. It's got automatic headlights, so I'm guessing it uses that sensor for it, hence why it's not working. You got a trip computer on the dash, which is telling me my average in the last 6,000 miles is 33.5 mile per gallon. But to be fair, the previous owner never drove it, didn't drive very far, so I wouldn't take her as a serious MPG. About 50 on the run, about 35 around town for me. It's not bad. It's very good for the size of a car. Weighs about 1.6 ton, I believe. It's not light. Oh, it's got electric heated adjustable leather seats, and the driver's seat also has a massage option which moves your lumbar support backwards and forwards, which really helps when you got backache. It's awesome. I'll put it on now actually. Oh, that feels good. So yeah, I know it's a bit new, being a 2008 model car, but this is the first year of the last car that Citroen made with the hydroactive suspension. So it's a real shame. This car is an end of an era car. You know, you had the BX, the CX, the Exantia, the SM, that was made previous to this, and you also had the Mark 1 C5, and one of my dream cars is the C6, which is the really posh Citroen with double glazing, and typically come with a 2.7 HDI engine. They're pretty fast. I think they're about 200 horsepower. I just think this is a wonderful car to drive around every day. It's good on fuel. It's fairly fast, not too fast. I think 0 to 60 is probably about 7.5 to 8 seconds, I would say. Without looking at the I'll put the figure on the screen. The actual figure, the correct figure. But yeah, these come in a 1.6 HGI, which is, I think, is a manual option only. And then they came with a 2-litre HGI, a 2.2 HGI, a 2.7 V6 twin turbo HGI, and then a 3-litre of the same. They also did a small number of petrol engines, although the fuel economy on those is pretty poor, and I would not recommend one. One of the biggest caveats with this car is the cost of repairs. Oh, before I get on to that, let's talk about gearboxes and suspension. So all exclusive models, regardless of gearbox, have hydroactive free suspension. All automatics have hydroactive suspension, and all the manuals that are not exclusive come with standard suspension, similar to what you'll find on a 407. This car is fairly complicated and expensive to repair when things go wrong. A new steering rack is about £700 and they tend to go wrong.
Crikey. But
there are people that can rebuild them for about half the price. The wiper motors tend to fail, and they're about £200 each used. Well, 150 £200 each used, which is not great really. It's quite a lot of money on that one. So third thing on these, yeah, the hydraulic pumps occasionally fail on these as well, and they're about £400 to £500 to replace. A full set of all 7 spheres for the suspension is 500 quid. Track rod ends will set you back about £25 a piece. Tyres work out about £100 a piece, and the road tax depends on the year of car and engine size. But on the 2-litre HGI with the non-start stop system, the road tax on this is currently at £415 a year, which is somewhat expensive. But I believe the later ones had stop start, which reduces the cost of the tax significantly. And overall, this is one of the nicest cars I've ever driven. I say it all the time, but I mean it. It's no good around corners, like it's not a race car by any stretch, but it absorbs bumps like nothing else. You hit a bump in the road and it just glides over it like it's not even there. The suspension on this car is absolutely amazing. By far, well, I believe that Rolls-Royce are paying royalties to Citroen as we speak. I could be wrong. And they're using the Citroen suspension on their newer cars. So Citroen's still making money out of the hydroactive system, just giving it out to Rolls-Royce to use in their cars. It's good enough for a Rolls-Royce, it's good enough for a Citroen. Hey, you know? What do you think of this car then?
It surprised me actually how good the ride quality is. I was not expecting it to be so smooth. I mean, I've never really been in a car with this kind of suspension before. I've been in, you know, other cars like Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 2 that are very, very smooth riding, but this is just... car only moves ever so slightly over bumps because the suspension's so soft. Very much like a P6 actually.
Is this better than the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, or is it about the same or worse?
I think it's probably smoother, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I think you can feel the road a little bit more in this car than you can in a Rolls, just because there's more suspension travel. But I will say that overall smoothness is significantly more, especially around corners, because they just, if you put it in the sporty mode, they just corner dead flat.
Yeah, it's really weird because you drive it normally and you throw it around a corner and you're like, oh, a bit of lean. And when you press the button for sport, it's just here. It's also got sport mode for the gearbox as well, and snow mode, but ice mode. But you just don't realise the difference. It feels like a normal car when you put it in sport mode. You start to feel the crashes of bumps and other stuff like that, but it's not a race car. It's not designed to be, driven super hard around corners. It's also got electronic handbrake, which is worth mentioning. And on the early models, underneath the gator, underneath the gator somewhere, there is a way to manually disconnect it. But I believe on the later ones, they were simplified without that feature, which I imagine makes it super difficult to move if it's stuck on. You know, if you need to move it in an emergency or whatever. Because the second you take the key out of the ignition, the handbrake comes on automatically, whether you like it or not. And it won't release again until the engine's started and you've, you just tap the throttle. You put it into drive, you tap the throttle, and it'll automatically disengage. Or you can put your foot on the brake and manually press down the electronic handbrake, which is a feature I've never had in a car before. New to me. Like I said, the whole name of this channel was Rob's Retro Rides, and I think in 2008 kind of pushing it, but I think this car is worth mentioning due to the unique nature of this car and the fact that it has got the hydraulic suspension. But I think they start making these in, I'm going to say 2013 in the UK, but I'm sure, I think it's 2015. I'm sure 2015 is when they start making these in the UK, and 2019 I believe for the left-hand drive markets. And there are a small number of Euro 6 diesels of these made as well, which is nice for them city dwellers that can't have the Euro 5s. Well, they can if they pay silly money, like who wants to pay silly money on ULEZ. It's got front and rear parking sensors. It's got 4 electric windows, electric adjustable mirrors that fold in when you lock the car. It's got auto dimming mirrors, so in the dark when you got bright lights behind you they dim, so you're not blinded by your own mirrors. And that's about it really. The main problem with these really is the parts costs. They're just expensive when they go wrong. But if you really want a car with a hydroactive suspension, I would recommend getting the Mark 1 C5 from 2001 to 2007. It hasn't got the complicated wiper motors, and generally it's just easier to work on and cheaper to fix when things go wrong. Whereas this particular car, this particular model, a lot of things got very complicated. And don't get me wrong, this is a much nicer car than the earlier C5, but from a cost perspective, cost of maintenance in particular, the earlier model makes better sense. It's not pretty, it's quite a, an older style boxy Citroen, but from a reliability standpoint, the earlier one is the better one to have for keeping it nice and cheap. And they still have V diesel engines and some petrol engines, but if you want the ultimate hydroactive Citroen, this is the one. This is the one you should buy, and bite the bullet on the cost of parts. Factor in the cost. Keep some money aside for the rainy day and keep it going. Because honestly, this is just a wonderful drive. Just everything about it. The biggest Achilles heel with this car is the cost of parts, and that is about the only thing wrong with it. Apart from that, I can't think of a better car to just drive around every day in. Yeah, I think this is it. This is the car. I think this is better than some BMWs and Mercedes of the same era. Give this some beans.
Pulls well.
It does, doesn't it? It really pulls. It pulls you back in the seat. This is the baby engine too. This is a 2 litre. They do a 2.2, 2.7 and 3 litre diesels. Thanks for watching Rob's Retro Rides, and I shall catch you in the next one. Don't forget to follow and like and subscribe.